I'm going to let you introduce yourself real quick. Just tell us name, birth date, where you were born, that kind of thing.
My name is Josh Campbell. Sonny is my nickname.
Yes, sir.
I was born in Marianna, Florida in 1946, but we lived in Chipley at the time. So we moved to Graceville when I was 5 years old in 1951. And the Oilers, I guess, came in 52, so I was 6 years old at the time.
So the first thing that I would like to talk about is what actually, I think, prompted this whole conversation, which is your mother is Ruby Campbell, is that correct?
My mother's Ruby Campbell. She named the field when they first, they had the contest.
Right.
And she won. I didn't realize what she won until I saw what you said. I knew she won, but I didn't know what she won.
Okay, I got you. So do you know anything about the contest at all then?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Other than they had started a team.
Right.
And I guess the Oilers, I don't know where that name came from. You had that, but then they had the park.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know who built the park or anything, but we had the park, and they asked for names, and she won. So, I don't know where she came up with Sportsman's Park, but she did. The sportsmen were a group of men in town who wanted to have a ball club, I guess, and put the money up. And it took money back then.
How involved was your mother as far as like supporting the Oilers?
Oh, we went to every game, every home game, as long as they were playing out here. We went. Mama, Daddy, my sister, and just about everybody else in town. And we supported them. That's how they got that name, smallest
Absolutely.
town in professional baseball.
Absolutely. So. I heard the whole town kind of came out.
Oh, they came from Malone, Marianna, Chipley, Bonifay. Everybody came here to watch a ball game. Wasn't just Graceville.
Right.
Graceville wasn't very big, but they'd fill that stadium up every night.
What was that like in Graceville, kind of seeing everybody?
It was everything. That's what everybody did. It was what everybody talked about, what everybody, that was what was on everybody's mind.
Right. Wow, how cool.
And we
was that?
always had a good team, too. Mm-hmm.
What do you remember as far as the uniforms go, team colors, hats, anything like that?
Well, they were just black. The numbers were black on white uniforms.
Black on white uniforms.
Black
okay.
on white.
Okay.
Of course, that's the home team always.
Right.
And gray when they were on the road.
So your family hosted the players just
yes.
a bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a new house in 1953. We moved into it, and it was a 3-bedroom house, and one bedroom had a bathroom. Like a master, they would call that the master. Well, my mother rented that out, put twin beds in there, and rented it out to 2 ball players. I remember the players' names, a lot of them. Some of them I don't.
Right.
But I remember a lot of them. And that last year, we had the manager stay with us.
Now, who was the manager at that time?
That was Waylon Goza.
Waylon Goza. Okay.
He lives, I believe, in Enterprise if he's still alive.
As far as the players go, as far as them staying with y'all, did they kind of become part of the family, or were they kind of in and out?
Of course, they traveled a lot. They were on the road or not. Like, if they played, they didn't go on a 3-day trip. It was back and forth every night. So, in other words, if they played in Panama City, well, the game was over down there at 10 o'clock at night. It would be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning before they would get home. Same way with Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Crestview, wherever it was. Be late before they'd get home. So they would come in late, and they would sleep almost all day. We had to be quiet around the house if, we didn't want to wake them up. So they'd wake up 1, 2 o'clock. They'd have about an hour of home time before they got to go, either to leave to go on a road trip or to play here. They got batting practice at 4 or 5 o'clock. They were not there much.
Right.
But they were there.
So how do you remember as far as ages go?
They were young guys, early 20s, late teens to early 20s.
Were there any players that were older than that you remember?
Oh yeah, there was. Yes, Tuffy Fincher was a pitcher. He had a wife and children, and they actually rented the house, a couple of houses away from us. Oh. And so that's how we knew him. He lived there. Of course, our manager was Charlie
name.
Grant.
Charlie Grant, yes, sir.
Charlie Grant was our manager at one time and a player. He was a player manager.
Okay.
And, of course, he was old. I don't know, 30, 35 was old back then. But
were there a lot of families in Graceville that hosted players?
Not a lot, but there were some. You know, the old Register House, which is right across from the stadium or up the street there a little bit. It housed, you know, several. And then there was another big house that you don't remember. It's on the corner of where the bank is now.
Yes, sir.
It was a big, like, 5-story house there.
All right, so the next question is, did the players pay rent, or was it just, you know?
They paid rent.
So let's talk a little bit about life in Graceville during the time of the Oilers. How was the atmosphere on ball game days?
It was, you know, ball games were at night.
Right.
So, I don't know, everybody just went to the game. It was like that's what we're doing. We're going to the game.
So they just rolled up the
And they'd
sidewalks.
roll up about 7 o'clock, 7:30 start, and fill that stadium up. And the stadium, you sat in the same place every night. In other words, my mother sat behind first base, behind the visitor's dugout. And there was a group of 8 or 10 people that sat there together every ball game. There were people that sat behind home plate every ball game. Some that sat down behind the Graceville home dugout every ball game. The fans were funny. By that I mean we had a couple of men that would sit in my mama's area that would crack jokes to the players and talk about, you know, get on the umpire, get on the coach, get on the players. You know, just really, it was a fun time. Of course, you got to realize not much entertainment, no TV or very little TV. That's what everybody did. That was their entertainment. They had 2 concession stands, you know, and of course peanuts, parched peanuts, boiled peanuts. Of course, they had hot dogs, hamburgers. I don't remember hamburgers much, but hot dogs, cold drinks. You know, I mean, it was. And again, Sonny Harris was the announcer. He's up in the press box, you know. Now coming to bat, so and so, you know, and then between innings he might have a ad, you know, shop at the Piggly Wiggly or whatever, just like you see on TV, almost like the major leagues, but minor level.
Right.
And they didn't have the entertainment between innings now, like these minor league clubs do to entertain people.
I guess the fans were the entertainment, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Really, we had some. I mean, everybody knew the people, you know. You just knew whoever was there, and you spoke, and it was just like the thing to do.
So as far as the stadium goes now, of what exists of the stadium at least, is that pretty close to what you remember as far as the white stands like that, or was it actual wood bleachers? Can you tell me a
No,
little
it
bit
was
about that?
concrete, you know, right there behind home plate. It actually went higher, went way up.
Oh, okay.
It's not there now. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 levels
Yes, sir.
left, but back in the day, it was real high and a press box on top, gates, you know, 2 or 3, a gate over there, a gate over here, and one down at the front, you know, from the highway where you drove in.
It's really hard to find images of the team or otherwise that have the complete, you know, backstop stands, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the bleachers are there, and again, they just went higher up. I don't think there's anything left of the dressing rooms. Well, there were dressing rooms down at the road at the right field corner down there.
Okay.
Of a home dressing room and a visitor's dressing room, and I think probably a fans restroom.
Okay.
Down there, a concrete block building, and so, you know, and the main gate was right there.
How much of that was actually built up when the Oilers, you know, came into town and started playing?
All of it, I guess, because I don't remember it before. Now, I played high school football in that stadium, you know, after the Oilers left, but it was still our football field, Graceville High School football field.
Yes, sir.
Until they left in whatever, the 70s or whatever, built the field up there at the school. But, yeah, I played high school football down there.
Did you get to interact with many of the players outside of game time?
Yeah, I did, because we had some at the house,
Right.
Even though we didn't see them a lot, we did see them, and they would, they parked the car in our yards, and we talked to them all the time. And had some great guys. I remember Larry Blue was a catcher that stayed with us from New York City, looked just like Yogi Berra. Tuffy Fincher, he stayed with us, and then the next year, he was like, not many players came back year after year, but Tuffy did. He was a right-handed pitcher, and he came back a second year, and he rented the house. The first year he stayed with us, and the second year he rented the house and brought his family down.
So did you get to play any backyard ball with any of the players?
No, but Goza did give me his mitt. The last year, when the season was over with, he gave me a ball bag full of baseballs and his catcher's mitt. He gave my sister a bat with his name on it. You know how the old bats?
Absolutely.
It had Goza on it, and she shellacked it and made it real pretty, kept it for years, till I snuck it outside one day and played with it and broke it, I think. So anyway, the Cash Drugstore is where all the men went for coffee, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's been that way, was that way for a lot of years. Well, the same for the players and the men back then. The players would go to the drugstore, and the men would talk to them, and, a lot of interaction there. It was not just a coffee shop. It was, but it was a gathering place. And the swimming pool, we had a public swimming pool. The players would go to the swimming pool and just hang out, get in the water. I guess it was therapy for them or whatever, but they would go and stayed there a lot. So they didn't go downtown much, Again, you got to realize they didn't have any free time.
Right.
They either on the road playing ball or sleeping, I mean, that's about it. And they would eat at the Circle Grill. The Circle Grill was a big part of the team because they ate almost every meal there. Well, it was about the only restaurant. So the players would eat there.
Right.
And they would eat a meal at not a regular lunch, They would eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon before they go to the play or before they go on the road. So the Circle Grill was a meeting place too, like the Cash Drugstore.
Did you ever keep in touch with any of the players after they left Graceville?
Yes, a few, like the Tuffy Fincher, his family. I believe they lived there's a little city above Phoenix City, Alabama. I think it's Fairfax. I do want to tell you a story about we were a Cincinnati Red farm club. Well, every now and then they would bring a possible player in to try him out, and I was always there from the time. I watched batting practice every day. I was there, chase foul balls, go out in the outfield and catch balls and throw them back in for them. Talk with the players and do whatever. I was just always at the ballpark. So one day they brought this left-handed pitcher in. I don't know. He had a glove like a little league glove. I mean, you could tell he was from the country, No, didn't have any spikes or, uniform, and they were just trying him out. I don't know where he came from, but he could throw it about 100. Nobody could hit him. I think they signed him on the spot, and I don't remember his name. Don't know if I ever heard of him. We do know that Bo Belinsky came through here. He made it to the major leagues. The season, about the time school would be out, that's when the season started. Maybe a little earlier. I think there was occasionally where they started earlier and we were still in school, and so we'd go to the ball game on a Tuesday night knowing we still had to go to school Wednesday morning. So that was a little conflict, but nobody seemed to matter. Didn't worry too much about it. When school was out, again, I was there every day. If they played at home, I was there. At, again, daylight. It's still daylight. They'd take batting practice at 5 o'clock. Well, the visiting team would take batting practice, and then the home team. Usually the home team first. So you had to be there early. Didn't have to, and a lot of kids like me, 12, 13 years old. Well, I was maybe younger than that, but we were there chasing them balls, and just playing with the players, or, if they'd talk to us. Some of them, didn't have time for us, but a lot of them would. We had a group of, a lot of foul balls, right? And they don't do, like then, you had to turn that ball back in. You couldn't keep it like they do now. In the major leagues, they got so many balls they don't know what to do. But back then, you only had so many balls for a game. So when there was a foul ball, we had a bunch of folks going after them. And some of them, where they had to turn them back in. But they got to where they'd give you a dime, if you turn it back in. So we had people that, really worked for them foul balls. His name was Robert Earl Payne. He was from Campbellton, but he was at every ball game. And he was like a year older than me. And he would get every foul ball. I don't know. Somebody asked me, we were at a party or something, who's the best athlete in here? And I said, Robert Earl Payne. He would he would climb the tree, whatever it took, go under a car. You never know where these balls are going, and he would get it. I mean, he would sit up on a ladder, like the ladder going to the press box right behind home plate. We'd stand up there waiting for that foul ball, Well, when it was hit, he was the first one down and going to get that foul ball. He'd turn it in at the concession stand and get a dime or a Coke or whatever they had that night.
Right.
I remember one other story about foul balls. I was going down the first base line, the right field line, toward where the dressing rooms were. And somebody hit a foul ball down that way. Well, I started running for it. Well, the fence was only yay high down there. Wasn't a big, tall fence. Well, that ball bounced and came over that fence and hit me in the leg. Knocked me down. I thought I was hurt. I really wasn't, but I got hit by a foul ball. Speaking of that, I saw a guy one night right between the first base dugout and the backstop get hit with a ball coming off right here. We thought he was dead, right there. They rushed him to the hospital and everything. We had a pitcher hit a guy in the head, killed him right there at the stadium.
Wow.
Toby can tell you that story.
Okay.
I can't tell you that.
Wow. That is wild.
Yeah. Pitcher hit him right here. They didn't have the headgears back then like they do now. But it hit him right here, and he was in the hospital 2 or 3 days and then died. The Alabama-Florida League, that's what they called it, right? Would be Panama City Flyers. Fort Walton Beach, might have been the Fort Walton Beach Flyers. I can't remember the names really. But we had the Crestview team. We had a Pensacola team. We had a Dothan team. At times we had the Andalusia Op team, Dothan Rebels. And you mentioned the Sunday afternoon. Yeah, that's still there too. Have you seen it?
No, sir.
That stadium's still there. You know where the football field is? On this side, there's still like too high of seats, just like we have. Oh yeah, and we go over there every Sunday too. Mama would fix a picnic lunch. We'd go over there.
So tell me exactly where the Bonifay Stadium is again now.
You know where the football field, the rodeo?
Yes, sir. Okay.
On the east side.
So y'all went to the Sunday games too, huh?
Yep. And we would go with them, if they were in Dothan, maybe close by. There's a lot of good memories. I wish I could go back. I wish you could see it's just like you've seen the picture of downtown Graceville in the 50s and 60s. All the cars parked everywhere, people walking up and down the street. If you've never seen that, you just can't imagine. That was the same way with the ball game at night. You just can't imagine. Especially, we were always pretty good, you know.
Right.
We won the league a lot of times. We had the All-Star game here. I can tell you a story when I was playing at Gulf Coast, and a guy from Pensacola said he remembers coming to this Graceville field for an All-Star game from all the way from Pensacola over here to an All-Star game.
Growing up being a baseball fan when I was a kid, you know, and being influenced by some of these baseball movies that were shot back in the day during the 50s and 60s, you get that visual, but it's really hard to, you know, visualize yourself in that place, I guess. And to hear from somebody who actually got to live it
Yeah.
is...
It was something.